great time for us. And I wanted to go over a little history. I won't take too much time. All of you that have been involved with developing rail trails knows that it doesn't happen overnight. And we started this back in 2018 was our first project. And that was repairing and refurbishing 3 railroad ties that were out between, let's say, Trestles, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to read my notes, okay? So there was 3 railroad trestles. They didn't have any sides on them. They were kind of open in the middle, very scary. And that was our first project, and that was funded by North Central Pennsylvania Regional Planning and Development Commission. Okay, that was our first grant. That was what we did, and that was all done by trail member volunteers. From there, we had this section here between Center Street and Kushiqua, we had to replace a great big sluice pipe. And the Mount Jewett Borough helped us with that, and Brian Sees. So that was our next project. Then another project was replacing and adding sluice pipes between Kushiqua Avenue and 219, and that was a grant from the McKean County Act 13 Greenways grant. And that was done by Kevin Sluga. Then, let me see where I'm at here. So then I think our next grant was from the Trail Volunteer Fund. We got our tractor and flail mower, which you have to have to maintain the trail. We built a couple kiosks. Well, we built one kiosk down by this Kinzua Bridge State Park. Let's see. So then we got on. We did some other projects, some maintenance projects, and then on 2020. We had to start a big project, which was removing all the old railroad ties that were still left between Kushiqua Avenue and 219. And we did that with help from the landfill, Casella, Denny Redker, Jim Myers, and also Bob Howard. He wanted to build a big fence around his property, so he came and got railroad ties. So we got that project done. And then last year, 2021, we did the trailhead improvements, which I hope you all get a chance to check out. The kiosk, the handicap parking, the trailhead sign, and I'm probably missing something, was all funded by National Fuel, and that was their, that was their charitable fund. We also had gotten a storage container to put our equipment in, and Ange Cornelius painted that for us. And that was partially funded by the Lumber Heritage Region. So we've been involved with all kinds of groups getting funds and raising funds and grants. And so that pretty much wraps it up. I know I'm missing some of the projects that we've done. Then we went to this big project that was funded by DCNR, and that has been a major, major project. So I'm going to let Ron speak on that part of it.
First of all, I would like to welcome some of the neighboring trail clubs. There's some folks here from the Kinzua Valley Trail. Thank you for coming and celebrating with us. And Tamed, the trail to the west of us, the Kane Group. And Tom Pace from Tamed was talking about driving the Golden Spike. That vision is soon to be seen. Speaking of visions, the section of trail from here to the Kinzua Bridge was done for a vision from Jane French, the director of Headwaters Charitable Trust. And there was money available that the county took advantage of and contracted building this section. And with engineering and everything, that was $1 million. I've been on the board since we agreed to begin to maintain that. And Carolyn had a vision that we would take another 3.5 miles to Lance's Corners. And I thought, boy, Carolyn, that's quite a vision. And there were quite a few challenges. The first one was where are we going to get the money? You know, writing grants is kind of like going to the dance and asking all the pretty girls if they want to dance. You know, you get told no quite a lot. But first we had
you, Ron.
first we had to address these 3 trestles that were out there, and of course Carolyn is a good writer, and I'm a fair writer, so the 2 of us, we wrote a grant and we were able to get materials. And I want to talk about the workforce we have inside the club. We have some master carpenters that are just excellent. And so we bought materials. I have a couple connections, and a bridge engineer certified the worthiness of the bridges, and we went to work and we covered the trestles. Next, the drainage. Well, that was easy enough. The county, through their Act 13 program, granted us the money, and Kevin Sluga did the work. The hard part was the surface. And, you know, there's 3.5 miles, and we did the calculation, and it was somewhere around 3,800 tons of trail surface aggregate. Now, that's not cheap. It's $46 a ton delivered. And just do the math, that was a little bit of money. So we started writing grants and we're told no. Started writing grants and we're told no. And finally we hit the jackpot and wrote a grant for DCNR. We all got together and decided that we would try to do it ourselves. We stockpiled material in 2 locations. I had the brainy idea that we would get it as early as we could, and that was when the snow was flying. And so we stockpiled the first 1,500 tons when it was snowing, and we lost about 200 tons in the mud. Good idea, Ron, huh? Well, anyhow, we began work in the first part of May. It started not so good, but again, the ingenuity of the experience of the people, the volunteers, Denny Redker and Ken Stroop and Jack Forker. Denny he came up with an idea and made a paver, and Jack, he's our roller man extraordinaire, and Ken was the finish guy, and by gosh, after a while we got it finished, and
that's a miracle.
That's a miracle, Ken.
Please don't forget Cleveland Brothers donated the roller.
Cleveland Brothers donated the roller. That saved us $8,000. And one of the things that we've done to celebrate, we have they have a wall of fame at football stadiums. We have a wall of appreciation on the back of our welcome sign. We've tried to include the logos of the groups that have helped us. This is definitely a community effort. You know, there were a lot of railroad ties. There were 4,000 tons of railroad ties that were left here. And somebody thought that we should approach Casella. We did. They said that they would accept them for free. We had to get somebody to haul them. We did. Again, Denny Redker came forward, and he got them all in 2 locations, and Myers Trucking hauled them for free. So it's a true celebration that we got it done, and it really turned out good. Yeah, and we did it all for. Well, the DCNR grant was $182,200, and we matched that with about $45,000 in our own labor and equipment. So we built an equivalent section for about $230,000 compared to $900,000 if it was contracted. So I just want to give credit to Denny, Jack, and Ken.
With his arm in the cast.
Now I'd like to turn it over to Jay.
Thank you, Ron. As many of you have heard, this wouldn't happen without community. And that's the role that Headwaters Charitable Trust plays, is an intermediary between the community and their needs and funders. And we wouldn't have taken this project on without the commitment that the folks in Mount Jewett. And we actually have, you know, trail groups the whole way through the 73.8 miles. We did this acquisition, completed the acquisition in 2017. We raised $1.95 million between 2015 and 2017 to be able to do the acquisition. There were a lot of support through the federal and state government, and especially the county commissioners, because they have a very big voice in supporting their own community, and that's what funders look at when we go for applications. But the Mount Jewett MJ2KB Trail Club has been absolutely phenomenal. Yes, that was $1 million that actually was awarded to McKean County because the nonprofit couldn't apply for it. And what happened on the application, we said it was for acquisition. Well, the federal government came back and said, no, can't use it for acquisition, you have to use it for construction. And so we were really under pressure to raise the funding to actually allow the $1 million to go through to get it done. So I just want to thank everybody, because you all are the reason that this is so successful, but it wouldn't have happened without the MJ2KB Trail Club. And that's vital, and we see that all along the whole way through the 73.8 miles. So I thank all of you. I thank the elected officials, and I thank Linda Devlin from the Allegheny Forest Visitors Bureau, because we hosted actually a meeting with a private foundation in Pittsburgh that Linda helped set up. And that was the very beginning of being able to connect on to other foundations within Pittsburgh that we used as match for the acquisition. So it takes a partnership and it takes a village. But I do want to read something to you that Ron gave me. It's from Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman. And you have to excuse me, I don't have my glasses on. It says, "Thank you for the opportunity to share this special occasion with you and celebrate the opening of the new trail. Every time I travel through McKean County, my wife Giselle and I always stop at the Kinzua Bridge State Park. It's really one of my favorite places throughout all of Pennsylvania. We love to spend time in the park and walk around, especially in the fall when the leaves are in season. The new trail is going to make the park's beauty more accessible for people walking and biking throughout McKean County. It's such a beautiful place and deserves to be enjoyed by as many people as possible. I want to especially thank all the volunteers who helped make this happen and all the elected officials who worked so hard on this project. I look forward to walking this trail next time I'm in the area." So I think that outreach to Lieutenant Governor Fetterman was important. We have to keep our elected officials incredibly involved because they have a bigger voice to reach what we need to have done. So thank you all very much. Enjoy the trail, and thank you, Carolyn and Ron, for inviting us.
Thank you, Jenny, for your help. And
I do want to say, you know, we did the acquisition in 2017. These guys started in 2018. We're only 4 years into the trail, and we have, out of the 73.8 miles, we have about 48 miles already constructed. That's impressive.
yeah.
There are some county commissioners here, Commissioner Duffy and Greiner, and Jim Trussell's here from the township. I don't know if anyone's here from the borough. Is anyone here from the borough? Well, Frank is here from the borough.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
And Hamlin Township.
Jim's here from Hamlin Township.
So we really appreciate all of you coming out, because again, as Janie emphasized, being a community, this is a community trail. This isn't for me, this isn't for my family. I hope they use it, but it's for everybody to use, and we just thank everybody for coming, and I thank Janie. She's been the backbone of all this. If I have a problem, I call Janie, so she helps out, so.
It's teamwork.
Yeah, I guess. All right, well, this is the official cutting. Okay.
Wait, Carolyn, do you want to get all the bikers behind you?
Yeah, if anybody wants to get behind us with their bike, that would be great.
That would be a great photo.
Yep. Do you want to do your bike? I can have Ann hold, or somebody hold the ribbon. Or Frank there. Where's Frank?
Video though.
Oh, okay, Erin's going to hold it. Thank you, Erin.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right, she wants to get her bike. I could see that look on her face like, me too, me too.
Did any of the helpers, anybody